Welcome back everybody to Forza Motorsport. So we're continuing on with the mid-engine tour and we're on the final championship now, so the final 4 races of this tour, and it is mid-engine miracles. So I imagine by the picture it's going to be a lot more modern cars. Obviously for the most part we have been in quite a fair few classics, 2 classic championships and one more modern one. So yeah, let's see what cars we're going to be going in and what our first race is going to be. So yeah, we've got some pretty tasty looking cars here. Right, we've got a couple of Ferraris. We've got the SF90 Stradale and the Ferrari, which is getting replaced soon by I think called the F80. But yeah, two pretty damn powerful cars, as you can see, with the SF90 being even more powerful in terms of horsepower and torque. Weighs more, but that's just because it's all-wheel drive and has I think it's got a hybrid system on the board as well. So yeah, pretty powerful though. And then we've got the Gordon Murray Automotive T50, which is nowhere near as powerful as the previous 2 cars, but it weighs practically nothing in comparison, and yeah, has a very charismatic V12 engine. And then we've got the Aventador AS3J from Lamborghini, probably one of my favourite cars from Lamborghini. Massively powerful V12 engine, 759 horsepower. It's nothing to shake a leg at, quite frankly, but obviously it does weigh quite a lot. It's been quite a large car, again, with all-wheel drive. Then we've got a pair of McLarens. We've got the 765 LT Coupe, which again has a fair decent amount of power. It's pretty similar to the Lamborghini, but as you can see, it weighs a hell of a lot less, despite only having 4 horsepower less, but it does more in the way of torque. And then we've got the McLaren P1, one of the original hybrid hypercars, along with the Ferrari and the next car we're going to be looking at. So yeah, 903 horsepower, and again doesn't weigh all that much. Then we've got the 918 Spider, again hybrid hypercar, more power than neither of them actually. Yeah, P1 and the Ferrari are both more powerful, but this has way more torque from its 4.6 litre V8. Not turbocharged. I thought these cars were, but apparently not. And yeah, not as much weight as say the Lamborghini, but definitely more than the McLaren and the Ferrari. And finally, the Spania GTA Spano, which has a whopping great 8 litre V10, which is twin turbocharged on top of that. And yeah, more than 900 horsepower, nearly 900 pound-feet of torque, and yet it weighs less than a McLaren P1, despite all of that. So yeah, not the prettiest of cars by any means, but it's ferocious in terms of acceleration, as you can see, but not quite as quick as the others. But handling wise, it's actually somewhat better. It's better than the 765 LT, better than the 918 Spider, and has as good as braking. Top speed though is where that car is at, outside of the P1. So yeah, the P1 I think is the fastest, and then the Spania is the second fastest, and then SF90 Stradale is the 3rd fastest. So yeah, I already own a few of these cars, so we're going to unfortunately have to try out one of those, because yeah, I don't want to be but then again, I think I've tried these ones out. No, we're going to buy one. We're going to buy one. Yes, we are. Right, so what do we choose is a more important question. I'm tempted to buy the Spania just because it's a bit weird. It's a bit more out there than other cars here. And even though it's more expensive than a 765 LT, it does have more power and speed and such. While it is cheaper than a P1, and it's definitely cheaper than the pair of Ferraris, so which are the more obvious choice. Yeah, we're going to go for the Spania. It's a bit of a left field kind of choice, but it's backed up by all of that power and torque, not much in the way of weight, and pretty good handling and braking in comparison to the other cars. You can only get it in orange though, so no choice in that matter. Right, so let's see what it can do in stock form on its first race, and then we'll upgrade it for its second, and then obviously the 3rd and 4th in the next episode. So yeah, we're at Hakone Grand Prix circuit for 5 laps. Looks like it's dry, which is helpful given how much power is in this car. It's only rear wheel drive. Do not want slippery conditions with that level of power. So yeah, I'm not sure whether or not this 8 litre V10 is from the Dodge Viper or not.
The track here at Hakone is wide, flat, and
it's the only other kind of car that has that kind of massive V10, so would make sense that it's been nicked from that and then slightly downsized in terms of cubic capacity, and then whack a couple of turbochargers on it and see what happens basically. Right, let's whack the fuel down to 7 laps. Right, let's see what this car can do. I think we'll certainly have the upper hand over most of these in terms of outright speed. Only the P1 I think is quicker than we are. I think I've driven this car all that much, so it'll be a bit of a learning experience in that regard as well. I want to check my sound options because I feel like these have gotten louder all of a sudden. No. It sounded louder than usual, but I guess not. Maybe it's just this car that is a bit on the loud side of things. Oh dear. All of the cars in general, because there are a lot of obviously V12s here with the Lamborghinis. Right screamer in terms of engine noises. Here comes that massive acceleration at the top end. Giant air brake, help and slow us down. Brake for a lot of these corners. You just let off and let the car coast around the corners. This one definitely do need to brake though. .5 miles an hour, that's pretty sharpish. Oopsie, don't give me a penalty. Thankfully. It's pushing it a little bit there, I guess. Gain any significant ground over everyone in front of us. Get the draft in front of a fellow Spania, which will be alright. Gained on the Ferrari there a lot, which is helpful. Ferrari's a little bit more agile, but we've definitely got speed. Slightly quicker that time, 206. Drafting there working well for us. This is overall a really rather good car. But obviously if you can afford to buy a car like this, the big question is why would you buy this over a more established brand? It's always been the issue for incoming new supercar or hypercar manufacturers. What are you offering over these established brands that have a reputation, have the pedigree and such and such?
One more lap.
Place. We're not quite agile enough in comparison to that Ferrari. Let's just try and hold on to fifth. That by not slamming into the wall. Yeah, fifth is pretty good for a stock car in one of these first races on these championships. Usually we can do worse than that. So yeah, fifth place is a good solid start for this championship. Gives us 20 points, so that's pretty decent. So yeah, we've got a brace of the GMAs, the Gordon Murray Automotive cars that are in the top 3, and then a LaFerrari in 4th. So yeah, those GMAs are definitely the ones to look out for. So let's get to the upgrade screen and see what we can do to this car to make it that bit better. Now obviously in terms of pure power, I don't think we really need to upgrade anything, but it's interesting to see what it can go up to. Yeah, get even more power and torque out of it with turbochargers and such. To put displacement, can you get it up to 8.5? As if that engine needs to be any bigger. Alright. Let's whack out some of the weight, which is definitely probably holding us back. Sport tyres, I'm surprised it's not on them already, but I'm going to go for those. Front and rear wider. Well, it will produce a bit of a whine, but yeah, it definitely makes acceleration better. Lighten the hood. Let's reduce the weight up front. Improve the handling at the rear with a new bumper. Just to get full of a bit more power, I guess. I like an even amount. I know it's stupid. Go for that. I know it's adding weight, but we can knock off a little bit by doing the flywheel. I prefer it to be dead on 900. I know, let's get rid of the displacement, get rid of the intercooler, because the turbochargers forward up to 969, exhaust. There we go. So, healthy amount of extra power there, less weight, grippier tyres that are also wider at the front and the rear. We've got a new transmission. I'd say that's all in all pretty good. So let's take a look. So yeah, we now got 955 horsepower and 942 pounds-feet of torque. Obviously it's not a massive increase in power, but the fact that we now weigh less as well means that that extra power is being put to better use. And yeah, stat wise we are a lot better as well, especially in terms of handling and braking, but the acceleration's gone up, obviously the top speed has as well due to the increase in horsepower. So now we can do 250 miles an hour, and yeah, 0 to 60 in less than 2.8 seconds, 0 to 100 in just over 4.8, and yeah, we can stop from 60 in less than 100 feet, which again is pretty good. So yeah, I feel like we've got a pretty damn good car here. Unfortunately, it looks like this on this circuit, which yeah, doesn't really look like it prioritizes speed, is raining, yeah. Or at least has rained.
The full Grand Oak National Circuit features a unique
yeah, gonna be pretty slippery out here.
Where you'll be
Hopefully that won't make much of a difference. Yeah, we can't change to wet tyres because we are on sport tyres. So if anyone has an advantage, it's going to be in that regard. Does look like it's raining as well. Oh dear. Well, hopefully these sport tyres are able to not only just deal with the extra grunt that we've given the car, but also the wet. Between a rock and a hard place there, or McLaren and the GMA. To be honest, I think this circuit's a bit faster than I remember it being, so acceleration and speed is going to go to waste. Yeah, came out of the draft a little bit too late there, and then yeah, clipped the Ferrari, I think it is, by braking too late as well. Entirely my fault there. Scraping a bit. Just trying to get his nose on the inside there, but didn't quite manage it. Might well be wet, but it's not, you know, overly wet. It's not massive downpours and massive puddles around, so I think we're going to get away with the fact we're on sport tyres. Squeaking, but controller that it's hardly cheap has developed a bit of a squeak in the triggers, and I don't know how to solve it. Solve it permanently, that is. I know I can full well blow into the triggers and it'll temporarily stop them from doing that, but do that right now. Well, that Ferrari bumped into the back of us and then went into the sand, so a bit of karma for them. Doesn't look like it's going to be a GMA 1-2-3 this time, even if we don't get into third. Plenty of speed down there, nearly 190 mile an hour, which is pretty rapid. It'd be cool if we could get onto Le Mans with this car and eat up those straights, chicanes or otherwise. This is a pretty fun vehicle to drive overall. I'm glad I chose it. I've easily gone for the typical Lamborghinis or Ferraris or McLaren, but this is a very controllable, extremely quick in the straight line car. Yes, there are better handling cars out there by the looks of things, but we've got a good medium ground. Place.
Final lap. You got this.
Last lap to make up just about a second on first place. We're not going to do by understeering into the grass. Not helpful. Good brakes on this car. You see why we didn't need to upgrade them. Obviously the air brake is also helping, but both are working well. Yeah, the GMA is just that little bit more consistent around the fast corners than we are. But still, second place is the massive improvement over the fifth on the first race. So yeah, that should do us wonders for our positioning. Yep, we're into the top 3 now. We split up those GMAs that were originally dominating the series, but we are still some way behind first place. We're 11 points behind, and even 3 points behind second. So yeah, still everything to play for the next 2 races, but should be pretty fun to drive in this car regardless. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.